He already got masculine energy. He already got all this stuff. He needs the one thing he don't produce, and that's you and your femininity. He don't produce that. That's an energy he don't really produce. So he's getting it from you to complete that balance so he can move forward in a balanced way to do all of this stuff. And when you start talking like this and it gets away from this material stuff that they want, they start frowning up. I don't know. She talking about
I love the conversation.
he gonna have to give me. I ain't taking no coffee date. Like, stop. You know what I'm saying? They don't like coffee dates because they don't want to sit and talk and show a man what their character is because the character bad.
Yeah.
So you don't like the conversation because a man about his business, the kind of man you want, is not asking you your favorite color and your zodiac sign. He don't care.
I really don't.
Welcome back, guys. Mike here, Money, Marriage, and Media, and today we are back with Anton Daniels. We are. He looks like he's having a sit down with Crimson Cure, so we already know high level conversation is going to ensue, and we're going to be here for it. We're also here trying to get 1,000 subscribers, but let's go ahead and get the video going so we get to it.
All I know is that I want it done. If you are approaching life from that mindset, there's not going to be any amount of explaining that a man's going to be able to do to tell you, listen, Linda, listen, Linda, I'm not going to be able to cupcake with you all day. I can't. And because women
Cupcake.
don't think about the support that you got to give a man like that, they think they supposed to be able to sit around and wait on his money. It's so many different aspects because they think a man with money is supposed to spend money on them rather than invest money in them.
Translation, there are a lot of lazy women out there. I agree with that. And that's why, one of the things we always talk about is, or one of the things I always talk about with you guys is the vetting process. Let's keep going.
Which is something different. That's why they want the $300, the 5-star, the Michelin first date.
Yeah.
You want him to spend money on you. I want the guy that's going to invest it in me, that's going to see the potential and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do for you. It might not even be tangible money, but it'll be something that actually propels me forward. They don't think about the support, because if you thought about the support that you would have to give a man like that, you would know that you got something to do. And you going to be busy right along with him.
Yeah.
And he going to have you ripping and running and doing, because if you want that kind of man, you going to work for him.
Yeah.
You're going to, listen, there's a reason why I call them lionesses. Lionesses do what? We
you're right.
hunt.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, she's 100% right. This is one of the reasons you tend to find the attitude that she's talking about. Sadly, you tend to find that in 8s, 9s, and 10s. And it's usually because those women tend to, because of the amount of attention they get because of their beauty, it makes them inherently lazy. And it's not too. That's why a lot of times these women tend to be single later in life. So they've spent all this time with these high value guys ringing up their body count because they do look like they're beautiful women, but they don't offer much value outside of their looks until they get older. Then they realize that, all these guys, all these high value men, none of them put a ring on my finger. And now there are younger women that they're messing with. I might need to develop a personality or something else, some other skill set, so that I could be an asset to the man who would potentially be my husband. But this is why a lot of times men will go down in looks to go up in cooperation, because what most men value in women, in particularly, don't get me wrong, beauty is up there, but honestly, I think most men value cooperation more than they do beauty. Just because we know beauty fades. If we're talking about a wife, because again, we're pro-marriage over here, right? Married man myself, So we're looking at when we're looking at a mate, we're always going to be talking about long term, or we're thinking about long term.
For the lion, we go get it for him.
Yeah.
We go get the gazelle and the wildebeest. We go get it. If it's a bigger prey and we need him to come help us out, he'll come help us out. But if we chasing Thompson gazelles across the plain, I'm expected to go get that and bring it back to him. I work for him, and we don't like that. We don't like that sentiment. We don't like it because we think that means that we're underneath him, and you are. You are. Because if you have a man that's worth following, if he has leadership, that means you're in the follower position. I hate that partner stuff.
Yeah.
I am not this man's business partner. He is a leader and I'm follower. That don't make me stupid. It don't make me not valuable. It don't make me none of that stuff. He wants the followership because that boosts his leadership. If you're in the proper followership position, then he's going to use that energy that you've given him. That's the purpose of you. That's the purpose of the feminine energy. He already got masculine energy. He already got all this stuff. He needs the one thing he don't produce, and that's you and your femininity. He don't produce that. That's an energy he don't really produce. So he's getting it from you to complete that balance so he can move forward in a balanced way to do all of this stuff. And when you start talking like this and it gets away from this material stuff that they want, they start frowning up. I don't know. She talking about
high level conversation.
he gonna have to give me. I ain't taking no coffee date. Like, stop. You know what I'm saying? They don't like coffee dates because they don't want to sit and talk and show a man what their character is because the character bad.
Yeah.
So you don't like the conversation because a man about his business, the kind of man you want, is not asking you your favorite color and your zodiac sign. He don't care.
I really don't. I
Okay?
genuinely don't.
He don't care. He's talking to you, and it ain't even a questionnaire. He just talking to you just to see where your mind is at, just to see how you think about stuff, just to see what perspective of life you have. And if it don't ride with what he riding with, this is where you don't get the second date. He ain't gonna read you. He just gonna not be available no more.
You know, the interesting thing about it is that
It's true.
You've been able to kind of see behind the scenes of how it is that me and my wife work out, right?
You know what's so crazy about that? It's clear that she's talking about, a high level guy, right? But even me as an average man, I've done what she's talking about. And it wasn't even we didn't even go on a physical date. I was just talking to some women on the phone. This is before I got married, obviously. And it would reach a point where I just wouldn't call them anymore. Because for me, before I take you on a date, we need to have several phone conversations. I will get to know you over the phone before I get to know you out and about somewhere. That's just how I roll. And if a woman wasn't for having those phone conversations, that's cool with me. I'm just not going to call her anymore. I'm not going to talk to her anymore. I'm going to be hesitant to answer her calls. And if I do answer and she can't get to the point of the conversation, I'm going to say, okay, well, hey, I got something going on over here. I got to go. I'm going to talk to you later. Just because, character to me was always important. What kind of person are you? Yeah, you fine. I get it. But that's why I say husbands, we need more husbands making content because men who are marriage minded, they think differently. And you being fine that's only going to get you so far. Because if I'm trying to build something, if I'm looking for a woman to marry, then I have specific goals for a family, and those are very important to me. I don't have time to waste on just, frivolous pursuits. We need more married men making content. Let's go.
Or how it is that we kind of operate. And it very much aligns with what it is that you just described, and that they think that she just sits around and she shops all day. And there's nothing like that.
No.
It's nothing like that
Nobody
at all.
does that.
What do you think about women shunning a normal guy? In which it doesn't mean that particular guy is not going to grow, that he's not going to elevate, that he's not going to be a better version of himself every single year. But for some reason, the guy that goes to work every day and the blue collar guy and You know, the man that's taking care of his family and everything like that. That guy is not celebrated anymore, right? The middle class person, it's almost like you got to be a finished product or you got to be pretty close to, or they got to be able to see the vision of whether or not you're going to be a finished product way before they even have a conversation with you today. Women are seems to be, and I'm sure you got a better perspective on the mindset of how a lot of these women are operating today. Women seem to be shunning the normal guy or the regular middle class or the blue collar guy. Why do you think that is?
Because they don't know how to use their hypergamy.
Mm.
Have no idea how to use hypergamy. And hypergamy gets a bad rap because of how these women utilize it in this destructive kind of way. We're naturally hypergamous. What does that mean? It doesn't just mean the literal definition of marrying up, hypergamy, right? But it is also a woman's desire to always want something better.
Yeah.
Something better. Something better. The better version. The better version.
We've done this before, but I want to read you guys the definition of hypergamy, right? Because it's a commonly used word, especially on YouTube, right? But I think a lot of times people are using it in the wrong context. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this definition to you. The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background. See, there's no money, there's no mention of money in there or finances. Crazy, right? But a lot of times we're misusing it.
Using hypergamy the wrong way is why these women overlook the so-called, what I call the regular old brother, the average man. He's making $50,000 a year or something like that. They don't see.
Most average men are not making 50. I don't know where we get this number from. Yeah. If you go Google the average income in your state. Most states, the average man's not making 50. I don't know where that comes from, but Google it yourself, see what you get.
See him as this finished product and they don't want to deal with him because they don't know how to use their hypergamy to push him in that area, to make him go in that area, to influence him in that way. Because they don't know how to do that they gotta have a finished product. That's like somebody that's gotta shop for clothes because they can't make clothes.
Yeah.
Right? You will pay a stupid amount for clothes because you don't know how to sew them. I don't even buy expensive clothes because I've been a seamstress for 20 some years. I know what material they just used, and I know that piece of clothing cost them all of $2.50 to make. I am not paying them $500 for it. Right. I will not. The analogy there, though, is if you understand as a woman how to be I'm extremely hypergamous.
Women naturally are.
We naturally are. But what I won't do is hop from man to man.
Monkey branch
to the better man. That's where the destruction comes from. Because I've got one foot in the relationship and one foot out, and I'm always doing this to see if there's a better prospect instead of supporting him and using your hypergamy. A woman's hypergamy is they're living in a 2-bedroom apartment with you and you're outgrowing it. And she says, baby, I'm pregnant again. We got 2 kids, one on the way. We can't live in this two-bedroom apartment no more. That's hypergamy. He gonna start thinking now. Yeah, we can't. We run out of room. He's thinking out of it from a practical standpoint. Okay, now what do I gotta do? Do I gotta put more hours in at work? Do I gotta find another side job? What do I gotta do to make that happen?
Right.
Is the next move a 3-bedroom apartment, or is the next move a house? Next move probably needs to be a house. Yeah. Okay, let me go that way. That's her hypergamy, without monkey branching out of the relationship. And too many women think that means I'm not building no man. I'm not making him do that. He's supposed to be doing that already. You're not building him. You're building with him.
Yeah.
Definitely powerful stuff. It's interesting conversation. Like I said, a high level conversation. She even mentioned it before about, when you start talking about this stuff, a lot of women out there that tend to try and look the other way because it's not basic, right? But I want to pose an interesting question to you guys, is that at some point, hypergamy is obviously a real thing, but at some point, like where does the breakdown, where does hypergamy intersect with loyalty? You see what I'm saying? Because they brought up the monkey branching thing, but men are attracted to loyalty. It's an attraction trigger for us. So, ladies, if you didn't know that, yeah, it's important. The question becomes then, okay, well, I guess in the example like she used, that is loyalty. That's hypergamy contained inside of loyalty. So that answers that question. And that's actually a good example she gave. Wow, impressive stuff for sure. But we also have to address the elephant in the conversation. The one thing that I will say that was left out, but she went pretty in depth. But the one thing that was left out was that the relationships that she was talking about, between the man and the woman, that assumes that the woman is that she wants a leader. A lot of modern women today, they don't want that. I know they say that, but we have to judge off what the actions are. Most women who will come in contact with the leader, a lot of times will label that man as being controlling, and they say they don't want it. So my suggestion to you ladies is that figure out what type of man you do want, like what qualities do you want this man to have? And then you need to figure out that man, what kind of qualities is he looking for? The majority of men, we all looking for pretty much the same thing: fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless. And if he's an average man, he's going to take about between 3 to 4 out of the 6. Your issue, or the biggest problem you're going to have is this average man. Which 3 or 4 of those qualities is he looking for in his wife? And then you also got to figure out, what of those 6, which 3 or 4 are you best at? There's an easy way to figure out if you guys are going to be a match. Men, you already know what you're looking for, so you just got to filter that out. We talked about that before. That's why I say, she gave some great advice about the vetting process for a man. The initial phase of the vetting process is that, have some conversations. As a guy, you have to learn how to interview women, and you got to learn how to ask them the uncomfortable questions in the right way. Some guys don't. Some guys just hit it with a hammer and say right off the bat, I'm gonna hit her over the head with this stuff. If she don't, she don't respond right, she's gone. Yeah, if that's your choice, then that's the way you do it. I'm not gonna knock you either way. So as long as you are trying to vet a woman for marriage, that's my biggest thing. Because if not, what are you doing then? Stay away from that. If that's you, okay, well, go deal with the hoes. Because most women say they want marriage and family. Well, if you're a guy and that's not what you're looking for, then go look for the women who don't want that stuff. They tend to be hoes. They tend to be promiscuous. That's just the way it goes, though. But look here, great conversation right here, right? Crimson Cure does it again. Got a shout out to Anton Daniels. Go subscribe to both of their channels, right? Because they each have conversations like this all the time. But on that note, I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace.